graph from the Congressional Budget Office illustrates why millennials are financially screwed. It shows how much inflation-adjusted GDP per person grew during each generation's 15 years in the workplace, starting at age 18. The GI generation had the highest level of growth at 60%. That's when America as we know it today was formed. Even the Fed was created during that period. They're followed by the Boomers and Generation X by a huge difference. However, that's still significantly higher if you compare that to the Millennials, us, those who were born between 1981 to 1996. It's supposed to be the other way around because we live in this technologically advanced society that people just 50 years ago couldn't imagine. We have things like the internet, cryptos, online banks, overnight shipping, YouTube, and a thing called Google that can literally answer any of your questions in a few seconds. In fact, if you take a look at the pre-pandemic employment rate, at the beginning of 2019, millennials became the largest generation in the United States full-time workforce, surpassing Generation X. But yet, 60% of American adults don't even have an extra $1,000 in case an emergency happens. If you take into account that the student debt has exceeded $1.5 trillion, which makes it $37,584 per student, it becomes crystal clear why millennials are totally screwed, to the point where we can afford nothing. Even if you want to buy a budget car just to be able to drive around, you have to get into debt that will take you many years to pay off. And you will be lucky if you will be able to pay it off in the first place. Even judging by the comments you guys write where you say that you're working day and night at 2 jobs and you still can't save $1,000 a month. I truly understand your circumstances because I've been in such a position in my life and it took me years to get out. And you know what? Saving money isn't the solution. In fact, saving enough money to retire is a horrible strategy because it will never make you rich. So let's find out why you will never become rich by saving money. What is the ideal strategy for financial freedom and how you can become a millionaire with just $5 a day. Yes, you heard that right, with just $5 a day. So give this video a thumbs up and let's get right into it. The most famous financial advice you probably heard is save as much as you can or save for the rainy day. Unfortunately, this is horrible advice. Every dollar that isn't spent today is a dollar worth less tomorrow. Suppose you do your best and save $1 million for your retirement. In that case, that $1 million isn't going to worth $1 million, but rather much less, especially if we are talking about a long period such as 20 or 30 years. Have you paid attention to how prices rise every year? Well, over 20 years, for example, that small difference is going to compound and reduce the real value of your money by a third or half. Retiring with $1 million might seem great today, but 20 or 30 years from now, that's not going to be the case. The Federal Reserve targets the inflation rate of 2 to 3% in the US, so you need to grow your money by at least 2 to 3% to maintain your savings' real value. The ideal place seems like the savings account, right? The bank is going to pay you interest for keeping your money in that bank, and on top of that, you can withdraw your money in case of an emergency. But let's take a look at how much interest you can expect from the bank. You're not going to get even close to 1%, especially since the Fed had lowered interest rates last year. Let's assume hypothetically that you can get 1% interest on your savings. The inflation is 2%, you're still losing money every single year. Of course, not as much as if you have kept your money under your mattress, nonetheless, you're still losing money. So, what should you do? The only reason that makes sense to save money is to create an extra source of income. Instead of saving $1 million, how about buying real estate worth $1 million? Of course, house prices don't rise as much, but they still cope up with inflation at least. The interesting part is that they provide you with a constant passive income of 6, 7 to 8%, assuming it's not a mortgage. Since rent prices also rise together with inflation, you don't have to worry about it since your rental income will keep rising as well. So let's try to answer the question of this video. can you become a millionaire with just $5 a day? At first glance, it seems like a dumb idea. $5 is the price of your Starbucks coffee. Even if you cut your Starbucks latte and make your own coffee at home to save $5 a day, that's $150 a month. Nowhere close to $1 million, nor is it going to provide you with a decent retirement. Or is it? Let's do the math. $5 a day is $150 a month, or $1,825 a year. According to our YouTube analytics, most of you are between 18 and 35. So assuming you're 24 years old and you plan to retire at 67, if you save $5 for the next 43 years, you will save a total of $77,400. That's not as impressive as many of you thought, right? Especially if you consider that $77,000 will worth a lot less 43 years down the road than today. I guess spending $5 on a Starbucks coffee is a way better option. However, instead of saving that $5 under your mattress, investing it in the S&P 500, for example, that grows at an average rate of 10% in the long run, through the power of compound interest, it will grow to over $1 million during the same period. To be specific, $1,066,321.24. That's just with $5 a day. Imagine what you can do with more than $5. So, can you become a millionaire with $5 a day? Theoretically, yes. It's going to take you a long time, but nonetheless, it's possible. I can already smell how some of you are typing down there, "What is the point of becoming a millionaire at 67? I want to enjoy my life today." The point is to show you how you can build wealth even with small amounts of money if you invest consistently and plan long term. You can build wealth even if you have your daily Starbucks coffee, travel, buy the new iPhone every single year, as long as you invest a small amount of your income. But if you cut your unnecessary expenses and save more, you are going to do that much sooner. Of course, the fastest way to build wealth is to start a business, invest at least 50% of your income, or spot a great opportunity and jump in. But remember, you have to be ready for that opportunity. What I usually do is invest around $3,000 into the S&P 500 every month, regardless if the market is rising or falling, to reap the rewards of compound interest in the long run. But at the same time, I'm growing my businesses and trying to spot the next great opportunity with people is that they don't have a clear idea of why they should save. They look at their income. Even if they save $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. In 10 years, that's $120,000. In 20 years, that's $240,000. That will last you a few years at best. So before saving any money, do the math and make sure it works for you. If you are 20 years old, for example, and you invest $1,000 a month in the S&P 500, by the time you're 44, your investment will cross $1 million. You can sell your shares and buy a bunch of properties. That will provide you with rental income every month. Or you can just withdraw a certain percentage of your investment, like 5% every year, which would equal to $50,000 a year, and pay the bills. And your investment would still be growing, since the average rate of return historically have been 10%.